A few weeks ago, on a cold Monday evening after work, I was coming back from grocery shopping. I had just bought onions to cook pasta, and I saw a girl walking past me with a white gym bag. The moment I saw her, I knew I had to talk to her, so I went and talked to her. First, she was a bit surprised, which is normal, but the conversation was good. We talked for a few moments and then went our separate ways. Now, 2 weeks later, we actually went on a date, and on that date, she told me something very interesting. She said the fact that I was holding onions made it feel like something straight out of the movie. A random guy on a cold Monday evening coming from the supermarket, stopping her to talk. She said it felt special, unexpected, very human, and that's why she agreed to the date. Now, in this video, I want to explain why you trying to force these movie-like moments isn't working for you, why you want these natural approaches to happen, but when the moment actually comes, you freeze. So here's what I want you to remember and drill into your head. Natural approaches are not context dependent. They are skill dependent. Looking back, it might seem like our little encounter just happened, but in reality, there were thousands of reps that had done before that moment that made this possible. And that's why when I had the onions in my hands, I didn't hesitate. There's always a gap between seeing a girl that you want to talk to and then actually going and talking to her. And the less skill you have, the higher that gap becomes. That's why untrained guys freeze in perfect moments. They wait, they overthink, and then that moment passes and the girl is gone. Most guys in my situation that day would think, oh, I'm not ready. I'm doing my groceries. I have onions in my hands and will look weird if I go talk to her. And then they would do nothing. So if you're not putting in the reps, you can't expect these moments to just naturally work out. You have to practice approaches when it doesn't feel magical. A lot of guys struggle because they hate treating approaching women like a habit, something scheduled, intentional, almost mechanical. And that might feel unsexy. Yes, it could feel forced, but you have to let go of this idea that every approach in the beginning needs to be spontaneous. You have to earn the right to be spontaneous. If you haven't put in the reps like I have, those movie-like moments simply won't work for you. The anxiety you'll have will be way too high, and without the skill to manage that approach anxiety, you cannot be spontaneous. So you have to be honest with yourself. When you'll say, oh, I'll just approach when I feel like it, or I really need it to feel natural for me to go and talk to her, that's a delusion. And early on, when approach anxiety is high, that means scheduling it. That might look like going out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for an hour, picking one area and doing 5 to 10 approaches. Some of them will feel natural, some of them won't feel natural, and that's totally fine. But if you don't put in that work, those movie-like moments will never happen. Not because they don't exist, but because you don't have the skill and ability to act when they happen. Movie-like moments are a side effect. They're not a strategy. That's why in this situation, I didn't think, I just acted. It was cold, late, and I saw her, and I still went over. It didn't even register that I had onions in my hands. She noticed it later, and that became our callback Joe between us. But that wasn't the reason that it worked. I didn't need this moment to be movie-like, and that's the point. These moments only show up once you stop needing them, once you stop waiting for the perfect setup or relying on luck. That's when things start to feel natural. And finally, if you tell yourself, oh, I'll only approach when I feel like it, be honest with yourself for a second. After a long workday, when you're tired, not in a great mood, low energy, maybe already going home, and on top of that, you have high approach anxiety. When exactly are you supposed to feel like approaching? You won't, and that's the point. This is why you're stuck where you are right now. You're waiting for motivation to magically appear. So stop deluding yourself. Freedom that you want of, oh, I want to only approach when I feel like it, only comes after intentionality. You don't start free, you earn your freedom. So scheduling approaches doesn't make you try hard or creepy. It makes you honest. It means that you are treating this like a real skill, not a fantasy. Because if doing it when you feel like it actually worked, you'd already be dating attractive, interesting women. You'd already be talking to girls in grocery stores and coffee shops without thinking it twice, but you're not there yet. And that's not a character flaw. It just means you haven't worked on this intentionally. So you can't keep telling yourself, oh, I'll only do it when I feel like it. That feeling comes later. And finally, if you're ready to start treating this like an actual skill and you want to practice approaching women in a structured way, then my one-on-one mentorship might be a good fit for you. I've been doing this for over 12 years and I coach guys all over the world. We go out there in their cities while being on a call with me together so I can teach them my unscripted flirting method from the ground up, help them get over approach anxiety and limiting beliefs, and give them live feedback on their real conversations as they happen with women right there. That way they improve week by week instead of just guessing. And you also get support from other guys who are doing the same thing. All of them are meeting women in real life, getting dates, building confidence along the way, and working their way up so they can make these movie-like moments happen. If that sounds interesting to you, you can check out the first link in the description and book a call to speak with me.